What's going on, everyone? My name's Josh, and I'm back today with another movie review. I just saw the new movie, spoiler alert, and I gotta say, I love this movie, but it definitely was a tearjerker. So let's get into it. Before we get started, if you could please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Now you better watch out, because it's time to get this video started. Let's go. Spoiler Alert is a 2022 comedy slash drama. Then this movie just hit theaters. This movie is directed by Michael Showalter, and the film stars Jim Parsons as Michael Ausiello, Ben Aldridge as Kit Cohen, Sally Fields as Kit's mom, Marilyn. And the plot of this movie is writer Michael Ausiello embarks on a roller coaster ride of emotions when his partner gets diagnosed with a terminal cancer. So I love this movie. This movie definitely, I love I feel like they had a beautiful love story. It definitely was heartbreaking. It definitely was sad, how it ended, that, Kit got sick and, died early. I just think overall this was a beautiful story. And I think the one main thing I like most about this movie is it's a real story. And because of that, I think these are important, this is an important lesson for a lot of people, an important reminder that, life's short and you gotta cherish the ones you love because you never know, when your time will come. We're all gonna die, it's just a question of when. So this is just a reminder to, cherish the ones you love and enjoy your time together. And I think that's what I like most about this movie is this is a real story. Now, one lesson my mom kind of taught me at a young age, I kind of lived in a fairy tale where I always thought if someone got sick, they always get better. That's just how it works. That's what you're taught at a young age, that if someone gets sick, they naturally will always get better. And my mom kind of shared a hard truth with me in the sense that she said, sometimes if people get sick enough, often they don't get better. Sometimes they will pass away. And that's just a hard truth of life. And that was something hard. It just changed the way I viewed the world. But it definitely helps prepare me because, if you live in a fairy tale and you think someone's always going to get better and then they don't, and then you kind of have to deal with those emotions, it's a lot harder to deal with. You didn't expect that. You weren't mentally prepared knowing this person was going to die, and it just will make their death so much harder. So kind of being able to see the writing on the wall, knowing, someone's not going to get better. It's okay to hope and you want them to get better, but you also got to mentally prepare for those times when, someone's not going to get better. And how are you going to deal with that grief? It definitely is a hard truth of life, but it does happen and people do die young. As sad as it is just happens in life. We're all going to die. It's just a question of when. And I think this movie just really is, the whole message of this movie is you just got to, appreciate the time you have together and make the most out of it because you never know when your time will come. So I gotta say, I loved, Jim Parsons and Ben Aldridge's chemistry together. I loved the love story between Michael and Kit. I just thought it was just, I love seeing them get together. They were really cute together. And then just kind of seeing them go through their relationship. And then one other thing that I really liked about these characters is these characters were definitely flawed. They weren't perfect. Michael and Kit's relationship was not perfect. They had problems just like everyone else. But then, we find out that, Kit's, he gets cancer. And then just seeing, throughout their problems, they love each other, and that's what matters. And, Michael was there for Kit, and they were going to, go through this together, and just seeing their journey, I just thought it was beautiful. And I think that as far as the actors go, Jim Parsons and Ben Aldridge just did a really, really good job. I also got to say, I really like Sally Fields as in the role as well as, Kit's mom in the movie, Marilyn. At first when, Kit was saying he didn't want Michael to meet his parents because he hasn't come out to his parents, I kind of was dreading actually meeting his parents. And then in walks Sally Fields, and I absolutely loved her. One, she didn't care that, her son was gay. She just was happy, when he came, pretty much to know the truth. She just wanted to know the truth. And after she knew the truth, she didn't care. And I just felt like anytime she was on screen, she just brought so much, personality into this role and so much energy into this role that I really enjoyed her character, and she just added so much more to this movie. I think as far as the story goes, I think all the actors did such a really good job, especially, as, Kit got sick, and we just kind of see how the families were dealing with that, and especially them, preparing to say their final goodbye. I just think everyone just did a really, really amazing job, and it definitely was, like I said, a tearjerker. Definitely, made me want to cry, and definitely was really, really sad. I think, there's a lot of people in the theater crying because it was a really, really sad. Now, I will say too, I also really liked that, this movie definitely deals with grief a lot in the movie, especially our main character, Michael. He lost his, parents due to, cancer. He lost his mom due to cancer, and just kind of seeing the way he looked about his grief, whenever he would think about his, his childhood, he would picture it as a sitcom, and I just thought that was very clever how, he would picture his childhood, and there was a lot of, hard times that he went through when he was younger, and just seeing him kind of deal with it, but, through these, even though he was viewing his life as a sitcom because it was hard, just kind of seeing how they dealt with it. I think they did a really good job with that. And there's definitely some small moments in there that I just related to a lot, especially when, he's seeing his life as a sitcom and he's seeing his mom cough. And just those subtle moments of him watching his mom cough and knowing, that it's not good. And just I can relate to that because, my mom got sick and she died, and just, I saw her, get sick, and I just saw her struggle with being sick, and just seeing that, it's just really hard knowing that the person's not doing good. You see them struggling, and just those little small moments of, seeing your mom cough and knowing, that's not a good sign. I feel like the movie did a really good job capturing that fear of, seeing someone die, getting sicker and not being able to help them. I just feel like the movie did a really good job capturing that. So overall, I really liked this movie. I thought this movie was funny. I love the love story between our characters. It definitely was sad though, very, very heartbreaking. And, it was very sad, watching, the characters go through, losing Kit getting cancer. But I will say, as far as this movie goes, I do think this movie is going to be, it's definitely, even though it's lighthearted in the beginning, it definitely gets heavy and it definitely puts you through the emotions. So I don't know if this movie will definitely be for everyone. Some people love happy endings, and then sad endings can be really hard for people. So it might not be for everyone. I really enjoyed it. All that being said, this is not necessarily a con, but I will say this movie definitely was a little triggering for me, in the sense of, I lost my mom, and a lot of the stuff that I went through with my mom, this film kind of also went through, and just kind of, it brought up a lot of emotions for me. And I do kind of want to go into this, and I've never actually talked about this, especially in any of my videos, but I do think it is something I want to share. Because it was really hard for me, and I just related to this film a lot. So for me, my mom died when I was 26. And it was just a really, really hard time. I'm an only child, and pretty much my mom was on life support, and I remember the doctors telling me, your mom's not going to get better. We recommend that you take her off life support. Because I was the only child, I had to sign the paper to take her off life support. And that was just so hard. One, I don't want to sign that paper. I don't want to sign the paper to take my mom off of life support. But ultimately, I know my mom specifically told me, if she was ever in that situation where, she was kept alive on machines, she does not want that. She wants to be taking off life support. So I knew, I had to sign those papers. I knew that was the right thing to do. And I really kind of learned that lesson, that, that saying, if you love something, let it go. Even though I was so hard and I did not want to, sign that paper to, take my mom off life support, I knew, me loving her, the correct thing was, to give her peace. She wants to be at peace. She doesn't want to be kept alive on machines. So I knew I had to sign the paper. And I did. And it was just really, really hard. And not only that, I was in the room before they took my mom off life support. I said my final goodbyes. It was just me and my mom. I held her hand, and I will tell you guys, up until this point in my 20s, I was so not responsible, and my life was all over the place. And I remember, holding my mom's hand and telling my mom that I loved her, but it's okay. First of all, I stressed my mom out. My mom loved me and she was such a good mom, but I stressed her out because she was worried about me, especially in my 20s. And I just told her, Mom, I love you. I promise though, it's okay for you to let go. It's your time to be at peace. And, I will take, you don't have to worry about me. I will get my life together and I will, live a good life, and I will, make you proud, and I'm gonna get my, just do a really good job, and you don't have to worry about me. I will be good. I will be fine. It was so hard saying that goodbye, and, it really did, change my life, though. After that, I feel like I got my shit together, and it was just a promise I had to make. And then after that, they take my mom off life support. I, pretty much held my mom's hand, and it was horrifying, though, I will say. Because, you see the one you love, you see the one you care for being taken off life support. And, even though she's unconscious, her physical reaction was gasping for air. And that was horrifying to watch. I remember watching that and it was very traumatizing for me. And it definitely haunted me after that. Seeing your loved one gasping for air, it definitely was really hard, and it haunted me for a long time. All that being said, though, it was really beautiful that I got to be there, and my mom was there when I was born. And, even though I got to spend those last moments with her, I got to hold her hand, as she crossed over. So even though it was horrible and sad to watch, I wouldn't have had it any other way. I got to be there for my mom in her final moments. All that being said, so yes, I kind of went through a similar situation, and then just seeing them, deal with Kit being sick, and, watching Kit get sick, and then them saying goodbye to Kit, and them saying their final goodbyes, and then seeing Kit die. This was all definitely really triggering for me, and definitely brought a lot of emotions that I dealt with in my own life with my mom. Just brought those emotions up. Not saying that's a bad thing, no, because I do feel like it is good to kind of, I'm one of those people, I tend to bottle stuff up. So whenever something brings those emotions up, I do think it's a good thing, because you got to get them out. It's not good to bottle emotions up. So I love this movie, I really did, but it definitely brought up a lot of those emotions up for me. So I feel like if you have dealt with grief at all, this could be a little bit hard for you to watch, because it might bring up those emotions in you as well. But like I said, that's not a con. This movie is a beautiful movie, and I really loved it. It just mainly, like I said, it really makes you appreciate life. Life's short, and you really do have to appreciate it, and you got to appreciate the ones you love, just because you never know what could happen. And I just think that is the whole point of this movie, and like I said, I loved it. But what do you guys think? Are you going to go see, spoiler alert, did you see it? Did you cry? What did you think about this movie? Please leave your comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching.